Hola clase, bienvenidos. Hoy vamos a hablar sobre los mandatos formales. Okay, so the topic for today's flip video is usted commands and ustedes commands. First, we're going to talk about usted form commands. You would use an usted form command to tell someone that you're not familiar with what to do. Okay, so this would be someone you're not on a first name basis with. For example, you would use an usted form command if you were telling me what to do. Okay, if you were telling the principal what to do, if you were telling a stranger what to do. To form an usted form command, you're going to go to the yo form of the verb, present tense. You're going to drop the O, and you're going to add the opposite usted ending. Okay, so that's an E to AR verbs or an A to ER/IR verbs. Lastly, if it's negative, okay, as in you're telling them to not do the action, just put no in front. Okay, there is no difference between forming an usted command affirmatively or negatively. Okay, on your chart, you've got 3 regular verbs that we need to conjugate or put in the command form. The first one is hablar. So if you were telling me, if you were saying, señora, speak, you would take hablar and you would say hable. If you were telling me to not speak, no hable. If you were telling me to eat, you would say coma, or don't eat, no coma. And if you were telling me to write, you would say escriba or no escriba. Okay, now let's fill out the other side of the chart. Ustedes form commands. Ustedes form commands are the commands you will use to command more than one person, okay, to tell more than one person what to do. I use ustedes commands with the class on a regular basis, okay? For example, stand up, levántense, get out your homework, saquen la tarea, sit down, siéntense. Okay, those are all ustedes form commands. To form them, you're going to go to the yo form of the verb, present tense. You're going to drop the O, and you're going to add the opposite ustedes form ending. So that's an EN to AR verbs or an AN to ER/IR verbs. Lastly, if it's negative, you want to put the no in front. Okay, so let's conjugate those 3 regular verbs there. If I was telling the class to speak, I would tell them hablen. Don't speak, no hablen. Eat, I would say coman. Don't eat, no coman. And write, I would say escriban or no escriban. Okay, let's go to the next section of your note guide, and that's talking about the irregular commands. These are the exact same irregular commands that you saw with negative to commands and you saw with we form commands. Okay, so it's still the dishes verbs. Okay, fill out your chart as follows. Give or don't give. De, no de. Go, don't go. Vaya, no vaya. No, don't know. Sepa, no sepa. Again, haber does not apply here. Be, esté, no esté. And be, don't be, sea, no sea. The ustedes form commands are the exact same, except they end in the letter N. Okay, so you can see here, den, no den, vayan, no vayan, sepan, no sepan, estén, no estén, y sean, no sean. Okay, continuing on down your note guide, we've got cargar-zar verbs. Remember that your cargar-zars are going to have that spelling change that they've had in their other commands we've been working with. Okay, so on the usted side, if you're saying, Mrs. Thompson, practice, you would say practique, no practique. Arrive, don't arrive, llegue, no llegue. Organize, don't organize, organice, no organice. And the same is true for the ustedes commands. Okay, formed exactly like the usted command, except it has the letter N on the end. Okay, other things to consider. Are there stem changes with usted and ustedes commands? Absolutely. Okay, because again, you're going to the yo form and you're dropping the o and you're adding the opposite usted or ustedes ending. Okay, for start, you have empiece or no empiece. Sleep, you have duerma, no duerma. Serve, you have sirva, no sirva. And then your ustedes commands are the exact same. They just have the N on the end. What about irregular yos? Will those occur with usted and ustedes commands? Absolutely. Okay, if you were telling me, Mrs. Thompson, leave, you would say salga. Don't leave, no salga. Put, place, or set, you would say ponga or no ponga. And ustedes commands are the exact same. They just have the letter N on the end. Okay, now on to the third section of your note guide. What about pronouns? Okay, what if here, if you were telling me, Mrs. Thompson, start it, where would you put the lo? Or don't start it, where would I put the lo if it's negative? Okay, it's going to be the exact same pronoun rules. If you have an affirmative command, you attach the pronoun to the command and you add an accent to the stressed vowel. Remember that typically that's the third vowel from the end of the word. So look at this example here. If you were telling me, Mrs. Thompson, buy the book, buy it right now, you would get cómprelo. And because I attached lo, I've accented 1, 2, 3, third vowel from the end. Okay, if you have a negative command, the pronoun goes before the verb and after no. So if you were saying, Mrs. Thompson, don't buy the book, you would say no lo compre. Okay, hopefully you're starting to connect the pieces here, starting to connect the dots, that commands are formed pretty much all the same. The only ones that aren't formed using the same pattern of going to the yo form, dropping the o, and adding the opposite ending are the affirmative to commands. And those affirmative to commands you learned in Spanish 1. You reviewed them in Spanish 2, and now you've got them again in Spanish 3. Okay? So although they don't follow the pattern, you've worked with them the longest. Okay, now let's practice these usted and ustedes commands. You have a section on your note guide for you to write down your answers. The directions say, use an usted or an ustedes command to complete these sentences. Before you pause me, look at your sentences here. In the first 4, I'm telling this guy, this sir, that I'm not on a first name basis with him. I'm saying, hey, sir, you need to do this, this, and this. Down here in 5 through 8, I'm telling these kids, I'm saying, hey, guys, hey, kids, don't do this, don't do this. So I'm needing to use ustedes commands down here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Your first 4 up here, you're talking to señor, and on the bottom 4, you're talking to the chicos. Okay, let's do number 1 together. Up here, I'm telling this sir, I'm saying, hey, listen to the radio. So I've got escuchar. I want to go to the yo form, escucho. Then I want to drop the o, and then I want to add the opposite usted ending. I should get escuche. Okay, please pause me and work through your other 7 questions. Okay, let's review. Number 1, we already went over. We have escuche. Number 2, if I'm telling that guy, hey, pick up the trash, recoja. Okay, you had 2 stars here because recoger has an irregular yo, recojo, with a J. Okay, number 3, hey, sir, there's trash on the floor. Throw it in the trash. Okay, so you took tirarla and you got tírela en la papelera. Hopefully, you attached this la here and you accented your third vowel from the end. Number 4, hey, sir, get up right now. Levántese. Okay, now that was a reflexive verb, but I was commanding just one guy, so I got to leave it as say. Okay, and of course I attached it because it was an affirmative command. Okay, number 5, hey kids, don't go on a hike. No den. Don't make a motto or a slogan. No hagan. Number 7, don't loan the money to him. No le presten. And boys and girls, don't sit down. No se sienten. Okay, if you have any questions, please see your textbook, page 102, for additional details, or jot them down on your note guide. Okay, muchas gracias. Adiós.